Jen here with another quick career tip video for you. Are you heading into a job interview soon, or are you hoping to in the future? Well, if you are, there are lots of things to prepare for, things that you should say, and I've got podcasts and courses on how to get ready. But what about the things that you should not say? Have you thought about that? I wonder. Things that you should not be saying. Well, I'm going to talk to you about that today. I've got a list of 9 things that you should never say in a job interview. Now, why should you know these things in advance? Well, to help you get the second interview is the first answer to that question, so that you aren't kicking yourself or second guessing yourself or saying all the way home or after you turn off the Zoom call, I should have said this or I shouldn't have said that. So there's nothing worse than saying, why did I say that to yourself? So I'm going to give you 9 things that you should definitely not say in a job interview, especially in a first job interview. So number 1 is, I'm really nervous. Don't say that. It'll be obvious if you are nervous. And it's good to be a little bit nervous, but it's not helpful and it's not useful to tell the person that you're nervous. They know, they expect interviewees to have somewhat, a little bit of anxiety, be somewhat nervous in what they're entering into. And if they're too cavalier and too confident, well, that's a problem. So it's normal to be a little bit nervous, not a problem. The second thing to never say is, I don't know. And you may not have an answer to the question, but if you have prepared well enough for the interview, then you should have some kind of story or some answer that you can provide. It may not be the exact answer they're looking for, but anything is better than saying, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. This is my experience, and then tell a story or something. But the I don't know is not a good answer. Number 3, that was number 2. So the first one is, I'm really nervous. Don't say that. The second one is, I don't know. The third one is not to say anything negative about your last boss, your last manager, or your last organization that you worked for. Now, it may not have been an optimal experience. I've had jobs like that. I'm sure you've had jobs like that. I hope you don't have jobs like that. But whatever you do, don't diss or say something negative about the people that you worked for before, because then the people who are looking to hire you might feel that you have a sense of unprofessionalism, a sense of disloyalty. They might worry about what you say about their organization. So it's just not professional. It's not cool. Just don't do it. So that was number 3. Number 4 out of the 9 tips is, I don't have any questions. When they say, do you have any questions? You always say yes, and always be prepared with at least 2, 3 is better, questions to ask the interviewers at the end of your interview. If you don't know what those are, I believe I have a podcast on that topic that you can check out at CareersbyJenn.com or anywhere you find your podcasts. And I think I also have a download that you can download with a whole bunch of questions. I think there's 25 on them. So check out CareersbyJenn.com and take a look at questions to ask during an interview. And you can Google it too if you don't want to come to my website. There are lots and lots of places that you can find really good questions to ask. So don't ever say, no, I don't have any questions. There is a question out there that's perfect, that will give you more insight into the position and the organization, and you will appear more prepared if you have a question, at least 1, if not 3. All right, so that's another one. Number 5 is never ask, how long is this interview going to be? Because it makes you sound like your time is more important than their time. It's rude, and it's an indication of what kind of employee you might be, that you're always worried about your time, as opposed to doing a good job of being interviewed and asking questions in return. So don't ask that question. You have dedicated this time. Block off a chunk of time. Don't book back-to-back interviews if you can, or have the morning set aside for one, the afternoon for another. But don't ask how long the interview will be, because it might be 5 minutes if they don't like you. It might be 3 hours. So it's hard to say also. So that was number 5. Number 6 is never ask, how much vacation do I get? Or any of those what's in it for me questions. That's for the second interview or the third interview, or when you're offered the job. That is not for a very first interview. A very first interview is where they can get to know you a little bit and where they want to find out what you can do for them. So asking what's in it for me is just not a good idea. So leave those kinds of questions to the next interview, or when you're offered the position, and then it's perfectly legit to ask those questions. Number 7, try not to say anything cliche. Try not to say, I am an excellent communicator, or I am a team player, or any of those things that are so tired and so cliche that I just want to throw the resume out when I read that. You may be an excellent communicator. Demonstrate that by being there on time when you said you were going to be there, by communicating well in your email or your phone calls or your messages back and forth to set the interview up. There are ways to demonstrate your excellent communication skills. There are ways to explain your team player. It's not a bad quality. In fact, it's an excellent quality. But the term "I'm a team player" is so cliche and so old. Just don't go there. And if you say, I have out-of-the-box thinking, right? Everyone says that. So try to think up different ways of saying these things, and different words to use, and stories to tell to illustrate your point. So that's number 7. Number 8 is never say, it's on my resume, when they ask you a question. Oh, it says that on my resume. That implies that the person has not read your resume, which might be true, but it's calling them out, and it's shaming in a way. It's also lazy. If they ask you a question, even if it is right there on your resume, please answer the question. Go into it in as much detail as you feel is warranted. But to say it's on my resume is, it's not a good answer. It's not going to be looked upon favorably. And the last thing is, please don't ask, how did I do at the end of the interview? They will let you know how you did one way or the other. You'll get a second interview, or you'll be offered the job, or you won't be. And at that point, if they call you to say, we've gone in a different direction, we're going with someone else, then you can say, is there anything I might have done differently, for informational and learning purposes? Perfectly legit. But don't ask in the moment, right at the end of the interview, what do you think? Because they're not often in a position to say anything, because maybe they're interviewing 15 other people, and it puts people in a bad and awkward position. So that's number 9. So those are the 9 tips. I hope this is helpful for you. Please be sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to hear more as it comes up. And if you want to know more, come over to CareersbyJenn.com. We've got all sorts of freebies there. There are podcasts, there are blog posts. I do have some paid content, some courses that you can sign up for, and lots more. Until then, this is Jen. See you next time.